Death threats have unfortunately become a common occurrence among both media and political figures, especially now that the right wing, especially the far right, has become even more fervent in their defenses of Donald Trump. Now, an example was received by Representative Adam Schiff's office during the impeachment inquiry. According to a report, an Arizona sex offender, right, was charged last year with making threatening phone calls to Representative Adam Schiff. Now, Adam Schiff is right now most well known as being one of the House impeachment managers. So he's one of the guys out there basically making the case that we should impeach Donald Trump and remove him from office for abuse of power, obstruction of Congress. That's the charges that he was impeached on. And so he was in charge of also presenting evidence in the House. So now, the man's name who threatened Mr. Schiff is Jean-Peter Meister. And he is, again, a registered sex offender from Tucson, Arizona. Now, they identified him through phone records as a caller who had left a threatening message on Schiff's office voicemail, according to court documents. So now, during their trial, cops had played the message for the 52-year-old, who told investigators that he didn't remember making the call, but admitted that he had gotten drunk and agreed that it must have been him on the recording. So not shameless at all. It was a very specific, very violent threat. I'm actually not going to read that to you because it's pretty bad. Now, what precipitated this threat, other than, of course, drinking, right? Which this man seems to have an issue with that. Well, he told investigators that he had been watching Fox News directly before that call. Adam Goldman from the New York Times tweeted this out. Thank you to Nick Martin, who highlighted in his news letter a federal case in Arizona. A registered sex offender was indicted last year after threatening to kill Representative Adam Schiff. What prompted this? He said he got angry after seeing something on Fox News. Now, that's bad enough, right? But not only is he a criminal, registered criminal, with a record, he also is still able to own guns. Meister, who has felony convictions for both aggravated drunken driving and second-degree rape, has also admitted to owning a muzzleloader. Now, look, muzzleloader, right? However, they didn't just find a muzzleloader. They actually also found, after a search warrant, an AR-15, a 380 caliber handgun, and a 9mm handgun, as well as various ammunition. So they found a bunch of guns in this guy's house. Now, wait a minute. He's got felonies, right? Well, it turns out that his right to possess firearms were restored by a Maricopa County court, and his three DUIs were also expunged. So there's your legal, responsible gun owner and Trump fan. Yeah. Oops. So now Meister was arrested October 25th, and during the time of the arrest, he had smelled of alcohol and had specifically said, F Adam Schiff, as he was taken to jail. The best people. What totally balanced human being. Now, look, I could sit there and dunk on him all day, right? But it's not necessarily about him. And yes, whatever. He's got a lot of problems, substance abuse among them. But it's actually kind of about the effect of Fox News as well. Again, Fox News, their entire purpose is to rile people up with conservative propaganda, right? And so they'll go and they'll, say the most terrible things about Adam Schiff and how the Democrats are lying and how they're just trying to take down the president and all that stuff, right? So that gets people angry, right? And hate and fear and anger is pretty much Fox News' bread and butter. And you know who else it is? Butter that is? Donald Trump. So Trump himself also spreads the same thing. He talks about Second Amendment solutions back in the campaign, for example, against Hillary Clinton. You know, talks about getting, roughing people up, get them out of here, kick their ass, all that stuff. And so he encourages violence as well. And so not only that, but he also openly attacks Adam Schiff on social media, right? And says, vile things against his enemies. And together, Fox News and Donald Trump create this atmosphere of pure awfulness. There are unhinged people out there, and all they need is a little bit of a nudge to set them off. And now, of course, in this case, they're all armed. It's a pretty scary thought, especially as we realize that we have little to no hope of getting any sort of common sense gun regulation in this country under the Republican Party. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.